Hello. It's been a while. But now we're back just in time to do Melissa Gorga's birth chart. Stupid. Okay, so Melissa was born March 21st, 1979 in Toms River, New Jersey. Just in case you thought there was a possibility she was born someplace else, it is New Jersey. Of course we don't have a birth time. Why would we have a birth time? Teresa gave us her birth time. Something to consider.
With my sister-in-law, I know I'll never hear the end of that.
So this is the chart with no consideration for houses because we simply can't consider them. But yes, it's here. So right away, we see that she is an Aries. She's a 0-degree Aries. So that means she is the most purest form of Aries to exist. And since it's the sun sign, it's the most present thing. So that means she has that spark that comes with being from Aries.
No, facts.
She has that, energy. Imagine this is her head. She's knocking down walls.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! No, hey, watch the wall.
Make it stop.
But the one of the biggest things with Aries is it's got to have a fight. It's got to have a fight.
Don't let her piss you off with these little and things she says. Let's go. Teresa likes to implant that I do things after she does.
You were tweeting at one point that I didn't go visit my father-in-law in the hospital. Who told you that?
She did.
We're asking you like this on a friggin' knee to stop hurting us. I want you to prove me wrong. I want you to prove I'm not accusing you. I want you.
And it seems like the fight she has chosen is with her family.
You can't do this, man.
Stop it, Teresa, help your brother. Stop. Like you're ruining our nice dinner. Stop. Be nice. Be nice.
Shut up, Melissa.
Oh.
You call me a stripper. Who was that guy that came up to our table? He goes, that you used to work for him at a gentleman's club and used to dance for him.
Everybody, when Teresa acts like an asshole, I tell her she's acting like an asshole.
With Teresa.
Joe, Teresa, and I argue every time we get into that restaurant together.
I'll be the hostess.
Yes.
Really, bitch?
Yeah, I don't want to cook. I already warned him I'm not doing that.
Okay, but then you could be a waitress if you had to?
No.
A lot of people, Gia did the
But I don't. I'm telling you that I don't.
People have told her that you lip sync.
You're trying to downgrade something that I want to do. You're trying to downgrade something that I believe in. Did I ever do that to you or your music or your my ass? No,
But my sister-in-law never said my house was beautiful. It's like,
Brian. We came to your house and spent 3 hours.
3 hours? 1 hour?
No, we were there for 3 hours.
Okay.
this is unacceptable.
She started.
However, with Aries, that's not like, when I say you have to fight, it doesn't have to be this, negative thing in your life. It can be like fighting for justice, fighting for your family. We don't know because we don't know her birth time. But it does seem as though the fight is occurring within her family, her extended family.
I mean, they could fight about the same shit over and over.
No, it's true.
But I guess, they do take the Vin Diesel approach to family.
So happy to be at home this year in New Jersey with my husband, my friends, my family. Be a family, let's go. And family, she's ripping the family.
What the f is that? Come on, man, your family. Your family.
Talk about perfect family.
There's just a brashness to Aries. There is all on the table. What you see is what you get. Since we know Teresa's, we know that Teresa is a Taurus sun. So there is some clashing with just, having the two signs so close together, because typically each sign that comes after each other is like a balm for the next. So Pisces is like the more cerebral, like conscious-y, mystic sign. And the balm for that is to bring you back to reality with Aries. Aries can be brash. It can be firing on all cylinders. It has a lot of energy. And then Taurus is the thing that kind of brings it down a little bit. So there is that little element of they could go together well, but they don't necessarily have to go together well, because they could just be on two opposite ends and not wanting to come together. So it seems like the Taurus and the Aries are deciding, no thanks, I don't need a balm, I'm doing great. And she also has Mercury in Aries, so it's which is very common to have your Mercury in your sun sign, but it just sort of means like she is saying what she means. It is loud, it is on purpose, she is not mincing her words.
But I wanted to wring your neck.
You did?
I did, because I think you're an asshole when you do like that.
Shaking.
I'm not telling you to shake. I'm telling you, I think you're a asshole.
It is brash. There's also an element of needing to be in charge with Aries. She has other elements with that as well, but there is a like, I am the leader. And Miss Teresa getting on the Housewives first is not a leading quality. Her moon is in Capricorn, and they are actually square each other. But the moon in Capricorn, just basics. The moon is the emotions and what kind of is always there. It's a little bit of your habits, what drives you a little bit, what drives your underlying actions and thoughts. So underlying emotions. I say it all just in different order.
Oh my God.
With the moon in Capricorn, there is this deep, deep desire to lead, but to also just get what you want.
I just see it getting better and better.
And it's just constantly there. So there is a driving force to get there. So this was the part of her that's like, you're on the Housewives? Yeah, I'm gonna be on the Housewives. But having both of these energies, it's actually very interesting. It is such an in-charge sign. However, she started out in a very traditional role of housewife, where it was, according to Joe,
this wasn't our deal. Our deal was, I get married to you, and you watch the kids, I gotta work. You bring in crumbs. See, I bring in the cake.
Second to the man. And he didn't really like Melissa going out there, and
we used to just be so attached, and I'm still like that. She's just changed. You turned into this different businesswoman.
If I have a little success in my own personal life, it's not against you.
Doing her own thing and getting money on her own and working at the boutique.
Well, have a nice day and sell a lot of clothes, and maybe we'll see each other home.
But those are things she wanted to do, and she ended up doing them. Now, she ended up with a good husband for her, in that even though that's not something he likes his wife doing, he still supports.
I think in an ideal world, he'd prefer to go back to the way it was. And if you'd ask him today, I think that's what he would prefer, but I'm not willing to do that.
I respect my wife. I don't want a wife that just sits around and plops on the couch and does nothing. I do respect her. How I said you make the crumbs and I make the cake.
Don't remind me.
I apologize. I'm very proud of her. I tell her all the time, the more practice we have in the bedroom, the better you get.
He's still there. And they seem to really love each other. My God.
I love you. You really are a good husband.
Anything for you.
At least be very sexually attracted to each other, if nothing else.
We've been married for 6 years.
You are so sexy.
He is just the most incredible husband.
Let me do your butt cheeks.
He thinks he looks so hot, even in a dress. And you know what? He is. His muscles were all showing. He looks hot.
Turn on. I want to see your ass. Oh my God, I'm having a moment. Tarzan, stop. I got the candy stick that you like.
Tonight, I'm in the mood for your candy stick.
In the mood for the candy stick?
After I have my cappuccino,
But yeah, there is, since it's square, there can be times when maybe her actions don't always line up with her feelings. But I actually think they probably end up working together more than they end up not working together. I don't know if that's something she's worked out in herself, but because there is the Aries spark with the Capricorn, like more slowly working hard, I think she's actually been quite successful in bringing those two together. Again, we don't know what part of her life, so maybe she's not.
I now feel successful in life, and it's not because I'm making my own money, it's because I'm doing what I love and I have my own thing. So I feel successful as a wife, as a mom, and as Melissa Gorga, which to me, I let go of that part for a long time, for about 10 years.
And there also is a deep need here to care for with Capricorn. It's different from the Cancer energy of caring for, but there is a sense of, I'm going to take care of myself.
She's way too self-absorbed.
And make sure that I can care for others in a very somewhat material, but like my needs are going to be met type of thing. And that can extend to her family, her friends, it can extend as far as you want. Because Capricorn does care.
Did you just say I'm too self-absorbed?
She did. That's exactly what she said.
Okay, let's look just right over here into Pisces. And that's where her Mars is. So it's very interesting to have all of this determination and willpower, but the actual planet of the battle and the fight and the will is in Pisces. So the Mars in Pisces is just a little cooler. It's not as feisty. It's a little more behind the scenes.
She said she was on the fence and said, I don't know, should I? And then you said, do it.
And it has to do more with...
Is she lying?
And fighting for something that is deeply emotional for you. And she's willing to fight for wherever this happens to be in her life, for sure. But she does it through consciousness and emotions. I don't know how conscious she is of,
I feel bad. I hope they don't use this.
They are going to use it.
I don't know what plane she's operating on. There tends to just be a softer edge. There's a softer edge to Mars and Pisces. And there is a lot of the arts involved. We know she had a singing career. Does she still have a singing career?
Sing for us right now. I've never heard you sing.
You want me to sing for you right now?
Yeah, I've never heard you sing.
Will this put an end to it?
He's asked me a question.
When a part of me died, he sent you to me. He knew that you'd be the right one for me.
I don't think she's currently working on that.
Just saw Melissa's song on RyanSeacrest.com. It sucks. Like 5 exclamation points.
That's her. Melissa stinks.
But it is exactly conjunct her South Node. So the South Node is kind of the things that you brought into life with you, like the things you're just kind of naturally good at. So we don't know what area of her life it's in, but she is very in tune with her emotions. She is very artistic. Fashion, singing, we get it. But she also, something with Pisces is it does tend to have a little bit of a martyr complex.
We're not here to prove you're wrong. We're here to hope you stop.
And it can definitely say, oh, woe is me.
I have been there holding her mother's hand while her mother was in the hospital. I painted her toenails while she was in the hospital.
You've been married to my brother
when my
how
father-in-law was in the hospital, it was you, me, and your brother holding his hand on his final hours.
Of course.
There was a lot I've done, so please don't take that away from me.
Everything's, poor me, basically. And I simply can't do all the things I want to do. And I simply can't grow in all the ways I want to grow because of XYZ.
This is the Melissa I know. Malicious. She plays the sweet one or the victim. That's not Melissa. Gorga! Gorga! And you're calling me poison.
It's not my fault. God knows it's not my fault. And because it's directly on her South Node, she can actually have a very hard time growing the things in life that would make her like a very complete human being. Because if South Node is what you are born with and brought into this world with, North Node is the things that you want to grow and the things that it's not easy to grow. But the things that will, you were not necessarily born with and the things you should be cultivating a little bit. And for her, it's in Virgo. So, and because Mars is there, there's a real fight to stay over here. And that Mars will always be at odds with the North Node. Now, the challenge with with an opposition is to realize that there's actually things in common here. And how do we bring those two things together? But with the North Node in Virgo, the thing that she should be working towards is this idea of perfection. We don't know where in her life.
Well, you've been just working so hard with the fashion show. Did you get a big response?
Yeah, my online sales should be, I think, triple.
Having an idea of perfection is a better way of looking at it, and having this devotion to something and wanting to work for something good. I don't know if she's doing that.
I think in the beginning he thought like, oh, this is gonna be something to like keep her busy. But as he saw that I was dead on serious and that I was actually making money from it and that I was actually gonna have to go to work, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna go play at Envy today. It was like a legit company that I had to run, and there's employees and there's ordering and there's emails and there's bills. He was like, oh, like, so you're gonna do this for real? And the more I did it, the more I loved it.
It doesn't, I mean, it makes it seem like charity work, but it's just something that is like building something pure and beautiful and for her perfect.
So what do you want to do, Tony?
I'm gonna do the same thing Mom's doing.
And with that, with Virgo, there does come a lot of criticism to the self and to the others. And it can be very harsh. It can be a very harsh critic.
Actually, Melissa's very critical of herself.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Those are the parts you don't necessarily want to grow, but it's a full package. It's a full package. But I will say she does have something else in Virgo, which is Saturn. So I can see her really not wanting to go wherever Virgo is in her life, because Saturn is the planet of maturity. So especially when she was younger, she's like, no, I don't want to do this. Let me stay over here. Let me see my Aries Pisces world. Because Saturn also is putting limits on you and testing you. So if she has all this will to stay over here, she doesn't necessarily want to go wherever Virgo is, and work on it and to test herself in that way. I don't know if she's the most mature.
You should call him and say, Melissa's talking to a guy, FYI. Let's make up that story.
But I don't know. She seems to have fun.
The bartender, I'm gonna need a new alcoholic beverage, please. All right, let's get shots. Let's dance. I want to dance. Let's do it.
I want everybody dancing right now. I love drunk Melissa.
So now to learn about Melissa Gorga. Yeah. I'm excited for the new season. I will say, what has sustained that show is that family, sometimes to the detriment of the show. But yeah, we've revived it. We've made sure that they didn't go to the wedding. And I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah. Bye.